the KREF app.
The Ref Sports Radio Network.
Live from the Buffalo Wild Wings studios, it's time to get locked into the best Sooner recruiting and football news with Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
You better lock it up. No, you lock it up. You lock it up. Lock it up.
Hit the guys up on the Riverwind Casino call-in line at 405-329-9000 or text the show at 405-651-3439.
Do it! Just do it!
Now, with Locked In, here's Parker Thune and Grayson Singleton.
Oh, we are in the dog days of February, folks. The off-season has officially begun. With Super Bowl 60 in the books, there will not be football again for a long, long, long time. We are only about a month away from spring football kicking up at Oklahoma, so we will have something to tide us over, but it's just practice and a spring game. We're getting the spring game back, allegedly, so that'll be something, Grayson Singleton. But
yeah.
What league is it that plays in the spring? Is it the UFL or the XFL or whatever it is? I guess there's some pro
I think
league.
it's UFL.
So maybe we'll find ways to get our football fixed. And, of course, there is always March Madness to help fill the void for a while there. But Super Bowl 60 is in the books. The Seattle Seahawks are Super Bowl champions. And we have a lot to discuss over the course of the program here today on Locked In, where we talk primarily football and recruiting, but let's not kid ourselves here. This show can always go in a million different directions and does with regularity, just depending on where you guys steer the show via the text line. 405-651-3439 is where you can make your voice heard this afternoon. The show is brought to you by Dorsey Jones GMC in El Reno. Family-owned and operated, outstanding service advisors, half-price oil changes on Saturdays, a low-pressure sales environment, and, of course, GMC offers some of the most reliable trucks and SUVs on the road today. So head out to Dorsey Jones and check out what they got going on out there. I have some very important news to open the show here, Grayson.
Oh.
I learned something on Thursday evening.
Oh, what you got?
My wife and I, she was about to leave for this cruise that she's on. She's going to Belize or somewhere. I mentioned this last hour. Her and her family do a lot of cruises. I've never been on a cruise, don't really have a desire to be on a cruise. But, she has 5 sisters, and so they're cruising together on a very regular basis, a couple times a year at least. And so she was about to leave. So Thursday evening, we went out to dinner. Yeah, as you do. We decided to go to Velvet Taco on Lindsay Street, and we walk in. There's only one other table occupied at the establishment because it was pretty early. It was maybe like 5:15. So pretty early in the dinner hour. And that table is occupied by Bo Bentley, Ryder Mix, Tyler Ruxer, and Cade McIntyre.
Oh, that reminds me. I've got something from the weekend to tell you, but that's going to be an off-air thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
So we walk in, and it's those 4 dudes sitting, eating tacos. And so I said, what's up? Obviously know and have covered all those guys throughout the years from the time that they were juniors in high school. So it's cool to run into them, but this is where I learned when they got up and when they left, took a peek out in the parking lot, and Bo Bentley drives a pickup truck, a big old Dodge Ram. So if you want to draw conclusions about your quarterback of the future based on his vehicle of choice, Bo Bentley drives a big old pickup truck, folks.
I probably could have guessed he drove a pickup truck. I've spent a little bit of time in Salina, Texas.
Ain't no sissy cars. No sissy cars for Bo Bentley.
Is my car considered a sissy car?
You drive what, a Mazda?
I have a Mazda 3, yeah.
I don't consider it a sissy car.
Okay.
I mean, in this day and age, cars are expensive. I don't judge anybody for the cars that they drive or don't drive because the way that I've always felt about cars is as long as it gets me from point A to point B, that's really all I care about. I'm never going to be the type of person that spends like 6 figures on a car. Could not fathom it. I don't care that much. My car is a Toyota Corolla. Very standard car. It's got kind of a unique color, I guess. It gives it some character. But, like, I drive that car because it gets 40 miles to the gallon, which is what I need because I drive a ton. I don't judge anybody based on what they drive. Many people do, however.
Yeah.
And so, hey, if you needed something to feel good about with regard to Bo Bentley, just know that he drives a pickup truck. A 740 listener says, Jaden Jackson posted his Corvette on IG this weekend. He also has a big Ford NIL deal as well. War Sooner adds, if Bo is anything like Ram trucks, he's going to be hurt most of his career. Woof.
Jeez.
Woof. Montana Sooner says, hey, I have a Corolla too. Them Toyotas are dependable.
Yeah,
Thanks,
they are.
Straight. Need
They
dependability, need good gas mileage. Those are the two things I care about. We have a top 8 for Jamison Roberts, Oklahoma quarterback target in the 2027 class. The guy for the Sooners, the only player in the nation with a standing offer to play quarterback at the University of Oklahoma in the class of 2027. His top 8 includes the following programs. Auburn, as you might expect for a native of Saraland, Alabama. Ole Miss, another usual suspect. Couple other SEC foes in Arkansas and Kentucky. Duke, Northwestern, a little more understandable now that they have Jerry Neuheisel on staff. Iowa, I don't know what I was doing on that list, but I was on the list.
Okay.
And, of course, the 8th team is the illustrious University of Oklahoma. So, top 8, generally this is how we conceptualize it in the recruiting realm. And this does not hold true in every case. But typically what we say is that when a kid cuts it down to 10, he has 2 or 3 schools that he's serious about. When he cuts it down to 5, he knows where he's going. More often than not, that holds true. Now, a top 8 is somewhere in between, I guess. Not really a top 10, not really a top 5. Jamison Roberts' mind isn't made up with certainty, but the vibes do appear to be good there for Oklahoma. He's going to be on campus March 7th for the Future Freaks Junior Day, and certainly there is perhaps not an expectation, but a strong and reasonable hope within the walls of the Switzer Center that they're going to lock in their quarterback target on that day.
Good, and they should, and that's a really good one to get nailed down because you talk about all the momentum that they've got going on in 2027, but what's missing is your quarterback in the class, and obviously we know the whole saga that happened to do with Peyton Houston and whatnot, but it really is very interesting that Oklahoma's been doing this thing backwards, where they've got all the other pieces, they're trending nicely with other pieces in the 2027 class, but generally that happens, that generally happens when your quarterback's on board. And they've done this having struck out on one quarterback and still not having another one. And yet here comes a quarterback. So it looks like they're putting pieces together for a class that's going to be in the top 10 when it's all said and done in 2027, and they've done it in a more unconventional fashion. It's very interesting, but if you can hold off what's going to be presumed to be Auburn, probably, for Jamison Roberts, you're in a really good spot the rest of the way for this class, in my opinion.
I would tend to agree. I think Auburn looms as the biggest competition, but Jamison Roberts has acknowledged, hey, Oklahoma has kept the foot to the gas the hardest, and they've done the best job in this recruitment. You're starting to see a lot of the national buzz from national experts pick up. Steve Wiltfong, Chad Simmons, etc., folks like that. They're starting to come around to the likely reality that Jamison Roberts is going to wind up in Oklahoma's 2027 class. I think it's pivotal that you wrap that one up on March 7th. It's going to be his first visit to campus since November, but you visited him twice during the contact period. Ben Arbuckle was down there a couple times. Brent Venables was down there as well. And so, to me, timing-wise, I guess nothing is a necessity in March, but it would be highly encouraging to see Oklahoma slam the door shut on the Roberts recruitment on March 7th, because there are a few things I think that you just don't really want to have to worry about in the long term. One of those things would be the addition of Zane Rowe. I should say the re-addition of Zane Rowe. Going to know before long where he's headed. Don't want to see that one drag out any longer than the February-March timeline that he has teased, roughly. Jamison Roberts, you'd like to be able to go into not even official visit season, but unofficial visit season, spring visit season, spring practice visit season with an idea of who your quarterback is going to be. A clearly defined idea of who your quarterback is going to be. That's likely Jamison Roberts, but to get him locked in before everybody starts getting around to spring practices in March and April would be huge. And then I think you'd like to see one or both of those top-tier offensive line targets that are left on the board for Oklahoma in 2027 slide to Norman on the 7th of March, because the expectation is that you're going to get both Gus Corsair and Tyson Ross back to town on the 7th. I feel a little bit better about Oklahoma's odds to wrap it up with Ross in that immediate sense, more so than Corsair, because I think a lot of the new offers that flew in for Corsair throughout the month of January caused him to want to tap the brakes a little bit and take a step back and reevaluate his options. But I don't see any reason why Oklahoma should have to wait on Tyson Ross much longer.
Sure, and when you talk about the new offers that came in for Corsair, is that you trying to communicate to the people that we might want to take this a little bit slower with Gus Corsair?
Well, let's not get it twisted here.
Because it seems like the tune has changed just a little bit.
Oklahoma still leads. Oklahoma still leads by a substantial margin, I would say. But whereas I think we were once trending for an early decision where you didn't even really have to worry about other schools crashing the party, I think there's certainly more of a possibility at this point that he takes a few more visits, maybe multiple visits to another school or two, and that creates a little bit more margin for somebody else to unseat Oklahoma. Somebody's still going to have to unseat Oklahoma. That's kind of always been the case throughout his recruitment. Everybody's looking up at Oklahoma, but I think the field has the chance to land a few more punches in Corsair's recruitment on Oklahoma than they otherwise would have had he not picked up the type of steam that he did in the month of January.
Who are we looking at? Still Nebraska up there is what we're thinking?
I would keep an eye on Nebraska, certainly. I don't want to dismiss K-State's presence in that recruitment at all. You would be foolish to. Oregon is another school with whom Corsair is quite enamored. He has yet to visit Eugene. And so that's maybe the biggest, most volatile variable in the equation is the Oregon factor. Because it's a big offer. He knows it's a big offer. It's a prestigious school. They're going to compete for championships under Dan Lanning. They have competed for championships under Dan Lanning. But he hasn't set foot on their campus yet. And so if you're just thinking about who has the chance to make the biggest positive impression that they haven't yet had the opportunity to make with a kid like that, it's definitely Oregon. KG in Piedmont says, I don't pretend to understand player ratings, but Jamison Roberts currently holds about an 89 rating with 24/7. Would you agree with that? Do you foresee it changing? To me, KG, Jamison Roberts is a certified blue chip dude. Now, I think he's got a case for the top 150, 200 in the country. I don't look at him on tape and think it's an egregious omission that he isn't in that tier just yet. It's one season of tape at Saraland High School in Alabama. It was an outstanding junior season for him. I am a little bit surprised, given his measurables, as well as the tape itself, that the recruiting services have been somewhat conservative in ranking him to this point, because a guy like him, Grayson, I think historically that's the type that you debut pretty high. And then if the tape doesn't say what you think it's going to say at the conclusion of his senior season, then he regresses a little bit. in the rankings. A guy like Jamison Roberts, I'm surprised that he's debuted with 3-star ratings with both rivals in 24/7 because I think this is a definite 4-star guy.
Yeah, and he's an 85.7 on rivals right now. That has him listed at 6'3", 190 pounds. So I would agree with you. My best guess, Parker, to be quite honest with you, is the limited sample size. That would be my best guess as to why he didn't debut higher. I do think, since we're talking about rankings here with Jamison Roberts, if he has an excellent first quarter of his senior season, I'll make a bold prediction here. I think he's going to skyrocket because you've got the measurables, you've got one season of good tape. If he can back it up with a strong start to his senior year, I think this is a dude that could shoot up the rankings.
And frankly, he may not need to wait that long because especially for quarterbacks, there will be opportunities throughout the offseason
camps
for
and
him
whatnot
to make a big statement to nationally respected evaluators with a ton of sway in that process because he's going to be, in all likelihood, I don't know what his plans are for 7-on-7, how much he's going to compete in 7-on-7, but he'll probably play a few high-profile 7-on-7 tournaments if I had to guess. What if he gets invited to the Elite 11? And what if he has a strong showing at the Elite 11?
Mm-hmm.
I would say you're probably not going to have to wait for August or September for Jamison Roberts to get that 4th star. I think it's going to come around soon. But his senior season is where he's going to have the chance to really elevate into that top 150, even top 100, if he not only can replicate that production and that tape from his junior season, but use it as a launch pad to something even greater. 405-651-3439 is the text line. Got questions about the 2027 recruiting cycle or anything else for that matter? Hit us up. Parker Thune, Grayson Singleton here with you on a Monday. Rolling along here on Locked In. This is The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. We'll be right back.
Locked In is brought to you every day by Dorsey Jones GMC in El Reno. Dorsey Jones GMC is family-owned and operated with a knowledgeable, low-pressure sales staff here to help you through the buying process and half-price oil changes on Saturdays. Visit dorsey-jonesgmc.com for more information.
Oklahoma, Joseph Dabrowski, General Manager at Seth Wadley Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Pauls Valley. We know times can get stressful. At Seth Wadley Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram in Pauls Valley, we're here to make it count. That's why we're giving more money for your trade and giving way more than market value. Whether you need a Ram heavy duty, crew cab, and chassis, new Jeep Wranglers, Grand Cherokees, Gladiators, Ram 1500s, 2500s, and even 3500s, we have millions in inventory for you to choose from in all sizes and all trims. And always get America's best full-size truck powertrain warranty of 10 years and 100,000 miles. Oh, and if you have any challenges, just ask for me, Joseph Dabrowski, General Manager, to help your visit be one of the best you'll have anywhere. And you'll keep getting savings with Seth spending over $24 million and counting on a promise. Tell him, Seth.
That's my promise of oil changes and engines for life on new or used gas or diesel at no additional cost to you.
So get to the store with more at Seth Wadley Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on I-35 exit 72 in Pauls Valley or click SethWadleyDodge.com.
Hey, sports fans, ready for a show that's got more energy than a Friday night kickoff? The Sooner Theater presents 42nd Street, the musical, March 5th through the 8th, featuring an all-star cast of talented high school students. It's fast-paced, tap-filled, and packed with Broadway-style excitement that'll have you cheering from your seat. Catch the action live at the Sooner Theater, 101 East Main Street in Norman. Tickets are on sale now at SoonerTheater.org. Don't miss 42nd Street, where the stage is the playing field.
The Ref is the home of Sooner Diamond Sports this spring. From Patty Squad in search of another natty.
Swings and hits it deep to center field. Are you kidding me? Sooner Magic in Oklahoma City.
And Skip Sooner's sight set on Omaha.
Back to the track, to the wall. Gone! It's off the scoreboard.
The Ref has you covered.
Catch Sooner Baseball's opening weekend this Friday at 11, Saturday at 3, and Sunday at 6:30, with softball Saturday at 11 and Sunday at 1 on the Ref and the KREF app.
At Armstrong Bank, your business isn't just business to us, it's personal. Our bankers are invested in your success, and we're ready to build a relationship that lasts. You deserve a strong financial partner by your side. Together, we can help make your business even stronger with products and services designed for your convenience. To learn more, visit a location near you or visit Armstrong.bank. Armstrong Bank, strength runs in our family. Member FDIC.
Shop during our Customer Appreciation Days at Eskridge Honda. We're Oklahoma's #1 Honda volume leader, and we're saying thank you. Shop today and save $2,300 off MSRP on a new 2026 Ridgeline RTL. That's $2,300 off the new 2026 Ridgeline trucks. Sales, service, parts, or quality Honda vehicles. Experience the difference great people make. Visit today or shop at eskridgehonda.com.
Stock number 260323, 9 to choose from for AHM new car sales for 2025.
Hey, it's Dorian Oka for Totally Tickets. Hey, Ref Army, you looking for the best place to buy tickets to your next OU game, Thunder game, or the best concerts? My friend Mike, call him Fletch at Totally Tickets has you covered. Visit TotallyTickets.com to find your event today. Oh, and good news, Ref Army, just type in the promo code KREF and get up to 10% off your purchase. Go to TotallyTickets.com now. They are the best.
The Oaks at Mustang is now leasing. Conveniently located on County Line Road and the Turnpike in Mustang, the Oaks has spacious 1- and 2-bedroom apartments with large walk-in closets, package lockers, and even a sparkling pool. The Oaks is leasing now, so you don't want to wait. Contact the Oaks and Mustang on their website at theoaksatmustang.com or call 405-927-2566 to be where everyone will want to be. 405-927-2566 or online, theoaksinmustang.com.
J.J. Watt had the take of the day yesterday on Twitter.com with regard to the Super Bowl halftime show. He tweeted, "Did I understand a single word of it? I did not. Was it a vibe? It was.
You bet your ass it was.
Hey, you know what? That's about where I stood on yesterday's performance.
It was
from
a
Bad
vibe,
Bunny.
wasn't it?
It was a vibe. Again, had no idea what was going on.
Nope.
Had no idea what he was saying. But hey, you know what? This is the beautiful thing about music is that you don't need unintelligible lyrics. Or I'm sorry, you don't need intelligible lyrics.
Yeah.
To be able to enjoy it, right? No one knows what Snow is saying in Informer, for instance. But it was #1 on the charts for 7 weeks back in Steely's day, 1992. So, had no idea what was going on. Couldn't make out any of what the man Bad Bunny was saying. But I liked the music. It was a good enough time.
I liked it.
It wasn't like, it wasn't the type of Super Bowl halftime show that's going to be indelibly seared into my memory like Prince or Tom Petty. But, man, it was a good halftime show.
You know what I found out on going through Twitter yesterday? I found out who I want to party with and who I don't want to party with. Because, ain't nobody know what he was saying. But I'll tell you what, those people that I watched the game with that were at my buddy's house in Stillwater, that's where I watched last night, people on Twitter that were like, shoot, man, it was a vibe, it was dope. I was like, yeah, I want to party with y'all, because you can catch a vibe, man. Those are people you can catch a vibe with. And I will say, the sets and the production and the camera work of that thing was pretty solid.
Yeah, they went all out.
Yeah,
they went all out.
They did a good job with it.
Made for some great Twitter memes, which is really a strong barometer for any Super Bowl halftime show. Does it generate good Twitter memes?
Yeah,
and
true.
This halftime show did. But look, whether you watched it or didn't watch it, if you didn't watch it, no judgment here. You didn't like it, no judgment here either. We don't all have to have the same opinion. This is what makes sports radio great.
I'll say, ain't that what our business is built on?
Yeah, but hey, I enjoyed it. I thought it was just fine.
Yeah, I was surprised when I saw you tweet out that you were like, wait, that actually wasn't bad. I was like, wait, Parker enjoyed this?
Yeah, man.
Good.
To me,
that was good.
Yeah, it was a vibe. Like I said, J.J. Watt hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, he did.
This kind of, and this is why I love the radio medium. This is why I love interacting with all of y'all in the text line, among many other reasons. But saw a tweet from somebody over the weekend that said, met this guy at a party. We eventually exchanged Twitter handles only to find out we had blocked each other. Which just kind of sums up society. We make all sorts of judgments about people based on their online persona or interactions through a screen. If you get outside, if you go face-to-face with other human beings, if you shake hands and hold actual conversations. You come to realize the rest of humanity is a lot more, there are more similarities between you and the average human than there are differences. And generally, someone's online persona is not an accurate representation of who they are in real life. Wirenut asked, has anyone asked Puerto Rican Sooner what the hell Bad Bunny was saying? Puerto Rican Sooner, if you can fill us in that regard, please do, by all means. 405 Taylor with another good point. Well, it's a point that has some validity. The halftime show every year is only for people that don't care about the football game. I think the halftime show is partially for folks who don't care about the football game, because
Sure.
I think if the NFL is serious about its mission to expand globally, then from a sheer business standpoint, having Bad Bunny do the Super Bowl halftime show makes a world of sense. Because if you're a football fan, you're going to watch the Super Bowl anyway.
Yeah, and it knocked it out of the park because it beat Kendrick Lamar for the most watched Super Bowl halftime show ever.
Like if you're a football fan, you're going to watch the game anyway because it's the football you care about the most.
Right.
If you're not a football fan, but you like Bad Bunny, you're going to watch the Super Bowl. Not for the sake of the football, but for the sake of Bad Bunny. And with how many people were tuning in to watch Bad Bunny, odds are there are a few more new football fans today than there were yesterday.
Probably a few more fans of the Seahawks.
Gunny says, I beg to differ. My online presence is me to a T. Hey, you're the rare exception, Gunny. You are the same man on social media as you are in real life.
A texter in the 405. Seems silly to be so negatively or positively impacted by a musical halftime show. If it ruined or made your day, then you are probably the problem. Which is very true, which is why the discourse around this, I realized this last night, going through Twitter, and everybody's like, wait a minute, that was such a cool vibe, didn't understand what was going on, but it looked cool and it was a vibe. The discourse around this got so damn stupid leading into it.
Most social media discourse is stupid, though.
Sure.
Pivoting here. Valentine's Day is this weekend. You got any plans for Valentine's Day yet, Grayson?
Yeah, I got dinner reservations with my girlfriend.
Good stuff. Got to make reservations on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, made those about a month ago.
Yep. Got to make reservations. If you don't make reservations, odds are you're going to wind up out of luck on Valentine's Day. Hopefully this is not a lesson that any of you fellas out there had to learn the hard way. Now, in honor of Valentine's Day.
Do you got plans for Valentine's Day?
Well, my wife is out of town. So she's not going to be here for Valentine's Day.
Oh, she'll still be out of town?
Yeah, we're not going to be able to celebrate Valentine's Day until after the fact.
Okay, then.
So, super, super easy to get reservations on like February 15th or 16th, right? Or to go anywhere without a reservation for that matter. Don't have to plan ahead if you're not celebrating together on the 14th, which we are not. So, I get a little reprieve there from all of the planning that generally goes into Valentine's Day. But in honor of Valentine's Day, I want to encourage OU football fans to send flowers, figuratively, not literally, to a former football paramour of theirs. Allow me to explain. If you're one of those people that only ever dated one person and got it right the first time, and it was just the perfect storm. One of my best friends in college was like this. Like, the girl he started dating his freshman year of college, very first girlfriend, became his wife. He was one and done. That's awesome.
Nice.
If you lived that experience, good on you. Not all of us live that experience, right? Some of us have to go through some trials along the way.
Sure.
Some of us have to learn hard lessons by experience in the relationship department before we land upon the relationship that is meant to be. If you're an Oklahoma football fan this Valentine's Day, I want to explain to you why you should appreciate Jackson Arnold. It's probably not where you were expecting me to go, was it?
No, probably the last thing. I was going to say, what? I thought you were about to tell us another story of an ex or something.
Yeah, no, and look, I'm not going to get into stories, but like I can certainly relate to this. I'm sure many can. Like, You may have someone you dated in your past. You may have an ex that things didn't work out for whatever reason, but you have no ill will toward them, and you wish them all the best and happiness and success in life and have no reason whatsoever to wish ill upon them. And I think OU fans should feel that way about Jackson Arnold. Because no, things did not work out with Jackson Arnold. But when you consider the doors that the Jackson Arnold experience opened for the University of Oklahoma football program, track with me on this.
Okay.
On the one hand, Jackson Arnold was the linchpin of that 2023 recruiting class, which has produced some pretty good football players. Peyton Bowen,
yeah,
obviously is the guy to whom Jackson Arnold will be inextricably linked in posterity when it comes to the arc of his recruitment. Peyton Bowen isn't an Oklahoma Sooner today, if not for Jackson Arnold. But I think about a lot of the guys that are still around from that 2023 recruiting class, and they're not all big names. But you got guys like Heath Ozida and Cade McIntyre and Jacoby Johnson, PJ Adibawared, the list goes on. Jackson Arnold was the guy that held that class together throughout a very tumultuous 2022 campaign. It would have been easy to jump ship, and there were guys that jumped ship throughout that campaign. Colton Vasek jumped ship. Anthony Evans jumped ship. Ashton Cozart jumped ship, although I think that was a little bit before the season began, as I recall. I think that was in the summer. But that class stayed together, in no small part, because Jackson Arnold was holding it all together. And I'm about to connect a few more dots for you that maybe you haven't even thought about. Hopefully this is enlightening. Jackson Arnold did not have a ton of on-field success at Oklahoma. But in the end, it opened some doors that would not otherwise have been opened. If Jackson Arnold had come to the University of Oklahoma, and he had balled out, if Jackson Arnold had gone nuclear at Oklahoma, well, Ben Arbuckle would not be employed by the Sooners today. He would not be Oklahoma's offensive coordinator because there would have been no reason to move off Seth Luttrell. Ben Arbuckle is probably a G5 head coach right now, or he's the play caller at some other blue blood program not named Oklahoma. So Ben Arbuckle isn't here, and you may think, well, how consequential is that, really? If Ben Arbuckle isn't here, surely OU would still have another solid offensive coordinator, right? You know who Oklahoma might not have? You know who Oklahoma might not even know about, if not for Ben Arbuckle? Who, by the way, I think is a really good OC and is going to have a lot more success at Oklahoma than the success he did enjoy between him and John Mateer in 2025. When Jim Nagy assembled his front office, Grayson, he assembled a front office full of guys that he knew. Industry buddies of his. Lake Dawson, longtime scouting and admin executive with the Buffalo Bills. Charlie Parkinson, Nagy's protege, worked for the Senior Bowl. Taylor Redd, another guy that Nagy knew from the NFL scouting ranks. There was one outsider, though. One outsider that he brought in. And that was Stacy Ford. Does Stacy Ford's name ever land on Jim Nagy's desk if Stacy Ford had not worked with Ben Arbuckle at Washington State? And when you look at Oklahoma's 2027 class right now, it's not hard to note Stacy Ford's influence, especially with all of the West Coast commits that Oklahoma currently has. So, if we're following the snowball as it rolls downhill, what began with Jackson Arnold's commitment to the University of Oklahoma ended with Stacy Ford, the recruiting ace on the Sooner staff, helping assemble what could wind up being the number 1 2027 class in America.
You know what I just felt like listening to you do, and well done by you.
Thank you.
You know, that felt like when I was a teenager listening to the days when Stephen A. would go on his rant and then he'd turn over to Max Kellerman, and you'd have to, like, make sure you perfectly paid attention because he'd tie this loop into something. Look, sure. Every choice you make has a ripple effect, and you never know what would have happened if you made the other choice. And, you know, Jackson Arnold is kind of that. I guess what you're saying is kind of like the God Bless the Broken Road type of thing. You know, that song.
You
remember that
Come
song?
on.
But, you know, I see it. I don't know. Here's my only response to that. I don't know if we're out of the woods quite yet when it comes to everything being all, you know, great as a result of the ineptitude of Jackson Arnold in a Sooner uniform, because the jury's still out on Ben Arbuckle as a play caller. I think that's fair to say. The jury's still out as to whether or not this team can win a playoff game. They haven't won a postseason game in the Brent Venables era. And we're just into the first full off season of Jim Nagy as the GM. So I still think there's a lot of questions to be answered here, but if all of them are answered favorably and things line up the way that you hope they line up, then maybe you can go back and say, well, Jackson Arnold is could have been the whole cause for all of this, and it just was a painful road filled with a bunch of X's, I guess, which was very interesting.
There were bumps in the road.
I really did think I really thought we were going to get another Crazy X story from you.
Yeah, no, I only had one Crazy X.
Oh,
I don't want to tell those stories.
Yeah, okay.
Why would you want to tell Crazy X stories?
Well, I mean,
they're not even entertaining.
You've told one on the air before.
Recruiting Boomer says, I choose to appreciate Vosick jumping ship. If not, wine wouldn't be here. God bless that broken road. Holy smokes, that worked out.
Yeah,
I think Colton Vosick has, 3 tackles in a Texas uniform? We got both ends of the spectrum as far as feedback on the text line. JD from Wacoma says, your Jackson Arnold story is brilliant, well thought out and well explained. And then CJ Sooner in Florida goes, tell me you have nothing to talk about without telling me you have nothing to talk about. Imploring Sooner fans to appreciate Jackson Arnold while transitioning from Valentine's Day talk of exes. This is a bit of a stretch, PT. I am nothing if not divisive on this Monday.
I guess. A couple of people on the YouTube chat were wondering if I was paying attention through that whole soliloquy.
I guess it was a little bit of a soliloquy. 580 My Consta says, Grayson the Caucasian Singleton with a Rascal Flats mention.
Hey, I got to figure out a way to connect with all of you, since Kendrick Lamar clearly does not. I gotta diversify to make sure that I can connect with the listenership here.
Oh, man. 405-651-3439. What an adventure that segment was. When we come back.
Hang on, I want to get this one in. Mark on the YouTube chat said, Grayson thinking of what he should change for Valentine's Day. He's been lost since Parker mentioned Valentine's Day. I guess my face on the YouTube stream looked lost.
Oh, brother. When we return, how about this? 0 days since our last nonsense.
Oh, good. We're bringing this back.
We'll get to that. And we'll continue to field your questions regarding Oklahoma's 2027 recruiting efforts, plus anything else that you crazies out there like to talk about. If you like to talk about it, so do we. 405-651-3439. Stay with us here on The Ref, the home of Sooner fans. We'll be right back.
A true Sooner fan wouldn't be caught dead without the KREF app. Join the Army. Get the app. Tell your friends. This is The Ref, where diehard Sooner fans listen.
At Lander CDJR of Norman, it's the Start Something New sales event, starting the new year off with huge savings, like up to $15,500 off of MSRP, or get $9,000 off and 0% financing for 60 months on select new 26 Ram 1500 Bighorn trucks in stock. Or take up to $12,000 off of MSRP on select new 26 Ram 2500 Bighorns, and get a 10-year, 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty. Ram 1500 stock number TN169555 must finance with Stellantis Financial for 0% for well-qualified buyers. Ram stock number TG165779.
For 3 generations, the John M. Ireland & Son Funeral Home and Chapel in Morris continued to serve the community by giving back to local schools, charitable organizations, and first responders.
We provide pre-planning for funerals and cremation services at the most reasonable prices.
We are proud to be a family-owned and operated funeral home.
Award-winning funeral home year after year, our family believes in serving the people of our community.
I'm John Ireland.
And I'm Solon Daniels.
You've got our word on it.
Good times are calling your name at the Showplace Theater with acts like Chicago, March 13th. Randy Hauser, March 21st. And Nate Smith, March 27th. Riverwind is OKC's favorite casino experience.
Hey, it's Chris Plank. Join TJ Perry and myself weekday mornings from 6 to 9 a.m. with The Plank Show. Nobody covers every Sooner sport like we do here at The Ref. So make sure, from border to border and coast to coast, to download the KREF app, presented by Warren Cat. It's the best way to stay connected with the home of Sooner fans, no matter where you are. Simply search KREF from the Apple app or Google Play Store and take us with you everywhere. Download the app today. The KREF app, presented by Warren Cat, proud sponsor of Sooner Athletics.
I'm Gina Mitchell of Mitchell's Jewelry. Valentine's Day is all about love, and we have gifts worthy of the day. Modern heart pendants and fabulous gold necklaces are sure to make her heart skip a beat. She might even have a wish list waiting for you. If you're looking to outdo Cupid, our Antwerp Diamond Supplier has brought in the best Antwerp has to offer. The selection and the prices are oh so sweet. Mitchell's Jewelry in the heart of Norman at 2201 West Main Street.
It's that time of year to get to the ballpark, and that's something to smile about. Craig & Straight Orthodontics wants to help you and your family every step of the way to a beautiful smile. Craig & Straight has 3 conveniently located offices in Norman, Mustang, and South Oklahoma City. Check out their website at craigandstraight.com or give them a call to schedule your free consultation. You'll soon be on your way to a smile that you have always wanted. At Craig & Straight Orthodontics, we want to see you smile, Oklahoma.
Vance Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Guthrie, Miami, and Woodward has been making vehicle buyers happy for more than 4 decades. Why? Vance is family-owned and operated, always treating every customer as if they are our only one. John, Megan, and the rest of the Vance family invite you to enjoy a better kind of car and truck buying experience. One with no last-minute surprises and one of the best return customer experience ratings in the region. Visit VanceAutoGroup.com during Ram Truck Month and get deep discounted new Ram trucks with the all-new 100,000-mile 10-year powertrain warranty at no charge. It's the best full-sized truck powertrain limited warranty available in America. So Vance's superior customer service, best prices, and a Ram powertrain warranty good for 10 years or 100,000 miles. What other new truck manufacturer and dealer can match that? Go to VanceAutoGroup.com to learn more.
With approved credit, see dealer for Ram warranty.
(405-651-3439) is how you fire away on the text line here on Locked In. This is the Ref, the home of Sooner fans. Parker Thune, Grayson Singleton with you. Brandon from UConn says, with that Jackson Arnold theory, the OKC Thunder should thank Kevin Durant for leaving and then causing everyone else to leave and getting the trade for SGA. I use the word appreciate, Brandon, because by no means am I saying throw Jackson Arnold a parade. What I'm saying is, hopefully, you can look back and when those conversations arise about Jackson Arnold a decade from now, hopefully you have enough perspective to be able to say, I guess to be able to go beyond the very obvious surface level reality that he did not play well in his time at Oklahoma, but also realize everything that came attached to that and as a byproduct of that. Sometimes, a lot of times, I would say, the joy is in the journey. 405-651-3439 if you have thoughts. Okay, let's get to 0 days since our last nonsense quickly here, and then want to hit a couple texts and want to bring one more 2027 prospect that hasn't been discussed a whole lot, at least in connection with Oklahoma, onto your radar. This is peak nonsense.
Okay.
Grayson, I'm sure you and I are much alike in the sense that just because of how old we are, our conscious breadth of sports watching and viewing experience spans about 2 decades.
Yeah.
It's been about 20 years for me since I can clearly remember everything that was going on in the sports world in a given year.
Sure.
I would say 2006. I have memories of OU football before then. I have memories of NFL football before then. But for the most part, like 2006 is the first year that I can recall being fully aware of everything that was going on in the sports world. And over the last 2 decades, there have not been 2 sports that have lost as much cultural relevance as Major League Baseball and NASCAR. Those 2 things were huge. Those 2 sports were huge 2 decades ago. They were still pretty big 1 decade ago.
I would agree.
Today in
I would agree with that.
2026, the amount of people that care about Major League Baseball and the amount of people that care about NASCAR, it feels, and I'm not saying this is reality, it feels to me as though there is a lot less quote-unquote water cooler conversation about those 2 sports than there was a decade ago or 2 decades ago.
I can agree.
And here's part of why. It is incredibly hard to watch Major League Baseball games. And it just got even harder. Because, apparently, in order to get MLB TV in 2026, not only are you going to have to purchase MLB TV, but you're also going to need to be an ESPN Unlimited subscriber. So you're basically looking at a double paywall here. You have to subscribe to ESPN Unlimited for $30 a month.
Yeah.
And then you have to purchase MLB TV, which is $150 for the season. Nothing grows the game quite like shutting people out, does it?
Yeah. Now, here's my only retort to that, and the NBA is an example of this. The NBA moved from Turner, remember that contract ended, to NBC. So now they've got games on NBC, they've got games on Prime. I have watched a heck of a lot more regular season NBA than I have in recent years because they've got a nationally televised game on almost every single night. Now, baseball, remember, they had the dispute with ESPN last year, and they're on NBC now. So I wonder if that's going to even it out a little bit in terms of potential nationally broadcast games. But I'm with you, man. Like it's been like this for about 3 years now, where baseball has become increasingly harder to watch.
NASCAR suffers from lack of stars. Everybody knew Jeff Gordon and Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah,
nobody knew.
Stewart, nobody knows who any of the guys are.
Yeah, like
now.
name a NASCAR driver right now. I'm sure some of y'all can, but like the casual sports fan cannot.
Is Keselowski still driving?
I think so.
Brad Keselowski?
But that's the point. It's like, he was a decade ago. Maybe he still is. I don't really know. NASCAR suffers for lack of stars. MLB suffers for its self-imposed restrictions on exposure. It's hard for new fans of Major League Baseball to watch games, and it's only getting harder. By the way, we want to talk about a completely different brand of nonsense. My 18-year-old brother-in-law stayed at our house for a week.
Okay.
He went back to San Antonio with my wife on Friday when she drove down to leave for her cruise. My 18-year-old brother speaks an entirely different language, man. An entirely different language.
Go ahead.
Like I was tracking some of these words that he's rattling off like anyone knows what they mean. Not just my wife and I, but like anyone that happens to be in his proximity. I have no idea. I can't even begin to fathom what some of these words could mean, even in context.
All right, what you got? Let's see if I know.
Looks-maxing?
I know what looks-maxing means.
Foid. What is a foid?
The hell? Next.
Mogged. What does that mean?
Yeah, I know what mogged is.
What is goyslop?
Huh?
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, he'll use these words in context, and I can't even figure out from context clues.
Yeah, now looks-maxing, that's an internet trend word that's basically become teaching people how to maximize how they look through getting in shape, getting a better wardrobe, making sure you're grooming yourself. So, like, looks maxing is that's a pretty self-explanatory one.
So just a basic human practice that everyone should be attentive to.
Well, yeah, it really grew with these TikTok people like FitX Fearless and Austin Dunham, whatever, teaching people how to get more girls.
Yeah, Brad from Maryland, Chad fishing. What is Chad fishing? I'm so lost, man.
What are some of the other ones?
I feel so old, and I should not feel this old.
There was a tweet. There was a tweet that went out last week, and it was crazy. And somebody replied to it and said, "This was a terrible day for the English language."
Ain't no doubt.
I'm gonna try to find it before we get off the air.
It could be a zillion different tweets that person is referring to, because this stuff is also all over Twitter.
Yeah, that's very true.
How about this? Marcus Benjamin of Rivals.com, localized recruiting expert down there in the Miami-Dade area, reported earlier today that the Sooners have been in contact with and are trying to flip Florida State cornerback commit Jamari Foreman. So that is a new name to get acquainted with. Jamari Foreman down at Plantation High School. He is a consensus 3-star prospect, according to Rivals and 24/7 both, as well as ESPN. So, 3-star prospect across the industry, committed to Florida State. It does make me wonder, Grayson, what's Oklahoma doing at cornerback? Not in like a pejorative sense, like I'm actively questioning what are these guys doing, but like genuine curiosity. What is Oklahoma doing? Because they have 2 commits in Michael Davis and Mikhail McCreary. They've been trending really, really well for Juju Johnson out of the state of California for quite some time. Derek Johnson's younger brother, Darius, is another Cali kid that they're in good with. You got Gabe Osborne right down the road in Mustang.
Yep.
And now you throw Jamari Foreman into the mix as well? Maybe this is just as simple as covering all your bases with the knowledge that hiring a new corners coach might shake things up for your 2 current commits. I don't get the indication that McCreary and or Davis are going to be bouncing on Oklahoma, which is good because both of those guys are super talented and dudes you want in the class, certainly. But I know McCreary took an in-season visit to SMU, for instance, even while committed to Oklahoma. So it could be a hedge in multiple capacities. One, just an acknowledgement that bringing in a new cornerbacks coach may chase one or both of those guys off, even though you hope and expect that won't happen. But also, hey, if these guys, if Mikhail McCreary, if he's going to take other visits, if he's going to quote-unquote shop around, if you will, even while committed, then we're going to keep the window open for other guys just in case.
Yeah, and they should, especially with the new cornerbacks coach, too. Maybe he sees a recruit that is like, hey, well, I like this guy. Is there a chance we could get him in the room as a late addition? I found the tweet, by the way. You ready for this, Parker?
Let me hear it.
All right, here we go. Clavicular was mid-jester gooning when a group of foids came and spiked his cortisol levels. Is ignoring the foids while munting and mogging moids more useful than SMV Chad fishing in the club?
I don't know what that is, but it's not English.
To what somebody replied, N-word, what am I reading?
That's not the English language.
You ever read something and you're like, you question your own intelligence? I probably read that 5 times and I was like, what in the world is going on here?
Oh, deep exhale. Sooner Nation 68 says, Parker, I enjoyed your JFA butterfly effect. As Paul Harvey would say, the great Paul Harvey, now we know the rest of the story. Thanks for connecting on LinkedIn. You too, Grayson. Boomer. I had no idea I connected with you on LinkedIn, Sooner Nation 68. I don't know who you are in real life, but basically, if you message me to connect on LinkedIn and I see you graduated from the University of Oklahoma, I add you. So if you graduated from the University of Oklahoma and you've attempted to add me on LinkedIn and for whatever reason I haven't added you, I guess I just must have lost the invite because it's an auto ad from me if you're a graduate of the illustrious University of Oklahoma. Brandon Moore asks, Parker, what happened to the defensive back named McCreary that was at OU a few years ago, and why didn't he work out? He was supposed to be a stud. I don't know who you're talking about, Brad. I don't recall there being a defensive back named McCreary at OU in recent years. If I'm wrong, I'm sure the text line will inform me shortly, but Mikhail McCreary doesn't have any well, he's actually got an older brother that's a walk-on running back at OU right now, but that's it. I can't recall another time where there was a defensive back on the roster by the name of McCreary. So, sorry to disappoint. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm an idiot. If so, let me know, and we'll loop back around tomorrow. But we're going to have to loop back around tomorrow because for today, we are out of time. The Rush is coming up next with Tyler McComas and the Butkus Award winner, Teddy Lehman. Grayson and I are done for this Monday. We will do it all again, same time, same place, here tomorrow on The Ref